Hello. I don't know if you can hear me, but getting crazy here. The rain is in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm not talking to you. Right before I went live, a lightning bolt struck right where the camera's pointing right now. It was so loud, I freaking flew. According to the radar, we got a lot more coming. I don't know if the signal's gonna hold out or not. I hope I don't get struck by lightning. I'm in the window. Okay, Steve. Well, I just figured I'd try to catch this. Hey, Six Estate. Trying to catch this. I'm telling you guys, right before I went live, the loudest bolt I ever heard hit. Yeah, I know, PNP, man. Literally about, I don't know, you keep seeing that big tree when the lightning flashes. Right to the right of it, the lightning struck that tree. So it was instant thunder. It sent me flying. It is crazy. We haven't had a storm like this all summer. And this is just the leading edge of it. It stretches all the way out west over Buffalo. Right now, I'm pointing north. Right now, I'm about 10 or 15 miles south of Lake Ontario. Yeah, that's what I'm surprised this didn't break. It was so loud. Trying to hold the camera steady, but I don't have steady hands anymore. Yeah, well, I've been enjoying the global climate change a bit because our winters we would be blanketed in 5 or 6 feet of snow minimum for the whole winter. Now we 1 or 2 bad storms and that's it during the winter. That's what it's been like for like the last 4 or 5 winters. Yeah, I'll get right on that, meatball. I was gonna put it on the selfie stick I got, but screw that. Just what I need, putting an electric device on a graphite rod. PMP. I can't mod you. I'm on my phone right now, or I would. Normally, I'm on the laptop. It was bad for a while. The lightning was actually interfering with the signal, the Wi-Fi. I kept going in and out because the lightning was so bad. I'm waiting for that tree directly what the camera's pointing in front of. It's the tallest tree around. I'm waiting to see if lightning's gonna hit it. Like I said, I mean, this was just, according to the news, this is just the beginning. Right now, that lightning you're seeing is actually right up by the lake now. And of course, Lake Ontario being one of the Great Lakes, it actually causes storms to get a lot worse. Of course, James Freeman tells me to go live, and then he don't even come in here. I know if I kill the stream, once I kill it, it'll get bad again. YouTube really needs to make the mobile app better. That or I just need to install the damn mobile Streamlabs. Phoenix, about 10 minutes ago, the rain was so strong, it was like a blizzard out there. Like, I literally could not see across the street. It was so thick with rain. And it was so loud, you couldn't hear anything. It's moving off to the northeast, but there's still a whole nother band coming this way. I mean, there's storms stretching all the way out west. Like, literally, almost to California. There's just bands of storms. So, the whole northern edge of the country is getting storms. I want to go to. There's that one place in South America where it's lightning storms every single night, never fails. Every night of the year. No, Jen, it's moving northeast. You're south. Oh, really, PMP? I used to research that a lot, and it got really monotonous. It was like the technology stalled. But then again, they focus so much on military flight and jet planes, fighter jets, all that shit. Yeah, seeing figures. I go live and the freaking storm, it stalls. I'm looking at the radar now on another screen, and there's still a lot more coming. Hey, Froggy. Just trying to catch the storm on film or on camera. Really? Micro drones? I haven't looked into that. I mean, I know there's micro drones for civilians, but I don't know a whole lot about the drone stuff just because I would get hooked on drones and I can't afford them. I'm just, I love technology. I would be trying to rewrite the software for them, trying to automate them and all that. So, and I can't afford it. Well, I know for a while they were researching, cloud seeding and things like that. And, that was kind of a hit or miss depending on who you asked as to whether it worked or not. Yeah, see, that's way over the lake now. Where the heck is the rest of the storm? Normally, this time of year, it's, 45 degrees and we start getting little flake snowstorm, squalls here and there. And growing up, sometimes this time of year, the ground was covered in snow. Now we don't even start getting snow until deep into December, sometimes January. See, PMP, I'm one of those people where I believe that there's alien life forms out there. I mean, I find it hard to believe that there's, billions of planets and solar systems and, there's no other life out there. That just seems entirely too improbable for me. As far as, a downed craft and us learning from it, I would like to believe it. Whether or not it's actually true, I don't know. Wow, Ed, really? We have a corrugated tin roof over the deck here. That's exactly what, the sound was drowning everything else out. This is just weird, man. The radar's showing a whole bunch. Well, yeah, I know that, Anon. I'm well aware that they don't release a fraction of what they actually have. See, I need a TV to sleep. I've always had a TV, like as far as I can remember. I always had a TV playing when I went to sleep. And if I'm sleeping and you turn the TV off, I wake right up. A short while ago, I was laying down trying to go to sleep, and I got hit with palpitations so bad my left arm started hurting bad. I flew out of bed and grabbed my nitro and my little go bag for the hospital. I thought for sure I was going to have to call an ambulance. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, great, here comes heart attack number 6. But then nothing happened. It didn't do it anymore. It's really annoying. Yeah, see, that storm is heading up. It's heading towards Montreal right now. Montreal and, well, it's already hit Syracuse. Yeah, see, I do it for the opposite. So I have nothing to focus on. Don Stan, I don't know. Someday. I don't agree with martial law. Now, suspension of the elections pending a military tribunal. I think, I don't mind that because I do think investigations need to be done properly and independently. So, but suspending elections, that's a big thing. The country's supposed to be built on democracy and on elections. So to suspend them is, kind of like suspending our rights as a country. I definitely don't agree with martial law. I don't know anybody that does agree with martial law. That's just one of those things. Martial law is just one of those things where it will lead to a civil war. I know where I live, the gangs and all that, they won't put up with martial law. It'll be do or die. They will not put up with a martial law. No PNP? Why not? I would think they're a little more trustworthy than a court that's directly under, that who they're investigating and focusing on. It's so hard, like with Trump, you got so many people saying, yeah, the Russia connection, and then so many people saying, no, that was fake news. So it's one of those cases of who's right. Yeah, it's just like people fixated on the whole. I'm not a Trump fan, don't get me wrong, but people fixated on the whole. He made a comment about grabbing women, and and hey Tay, and it's like that's one of those situations where men talk. When it's just when it's just a group of men, any man in here knows. When it's just a group of men, you say things, you talk a lot of smack. That I thought was too childish. And it was said like what, 15 years ago or some crap? Martial law for the internet. Yeah, that'll go over well. That'll never happen. I don't know, Tay. I left Wobbly the same time you did. I was laying down trying to go back to sleep, and this storm hit. I got online, I had to catch it, and just as I got online, it started moving away. I got some pretty good lightning, though. I wish I had gotten that one lightning strike right before I went live, man. That was crazy. You really think that they'll do martial law on of the internet? The internet is too much of a living thing for any martial law, especially considering how much of it is outside of the country. People will start building booster antennas and hopping on satellite signals, and they'll do whatever it takes to try to get online and just do what they do. Oh, yeah, I don't doubt they would try. But I don't see how they would succeed. There's literally billions and billions of servers out there. It's just no way that's going to happen. I mean, people will be hijacking signals left and right. You'll start seeing all kinds of antenna arrays popping up. Just consider it like modified ham radio setups only for the internet. People will find a way. What I don't agree with is they do make it too easy for people, or well, for the internet to be cut off from the rest of the world. Like we have one accessible non-military backbone that's laid down on the Atlantic Ocean, and it crosses over to Europe. And then we have one on the Pacific side that it's laid on the Pacific Ocean up by the Bering Strait, and it runs over to Russia by way of Canada. So those are the two main backbones, and they're fiber optic. They're OC 256, I believe, and it takes is just cutting through those lines, and that's going to kill an insanely large amount of internet access. I used to have access to an OC3. I mean, geez, that thing was probably 1,000 times faster than the internet connection I have now. And the internet connection I have now is the fastest one Spectrum offers. I've got 100 megabit downstream, and an OC3 put that to shame. Man, I can't find where I put that little, what you call it? That little mini tripod for cell phones. Where the hell is my gimbal? All right, Tay, good night. Yeah, Russell, you missed the most of it. I mean, according to the radar, we got a lot more coming. But it's stalled out. We literally had about 10 minutes of excitement. No, Tay, my camera's pointing out the window at the moment. I was catching the lightning. Yeah, and that won't happen. There's no way in hell that would happen. He could sign that executive order all he wants. It would be able to immediately be stayed. There's no way in hell Congress or the Supreme Court would allow that. No way. I don't care how many executive orders he signs. In the end, he doesn't have the last say. No, Russell, power's not out. It's just really dark out where I live. Time to stand. I'm alive. It's about all I can say on that. Okay, that's a little better. I got the phone in the gimbal now. So now I just try to get this position right. At least now I can have a hand free. Sheeple nothing on, man. There's no way in hell. Like I said, there's no way in hell Congress or the Supreme Court would allow that to go through. No way. Why would anybody even want that? Why would somebody want martial law and all that other crap? So like I said, Trump likes to think he has the power, but every single executive order he signs can be put down. I mean, God, look at the travel ban. He signed that. How quickly was it shot down? Yeah, you're right, PNP. I mean, legally it has to be one. I mean, he thinks he can sign it, but like I said, Congress and Supreme Court would stop him in his tracks. They would not allow that. Yeah, well, it's one hell of a emergency state because nothing's happening. So much for martial law, nothing's happening. Yeah, Ed, I know there's certain things they can do. Yes, there's certain things they can call for, certain things they can pass. But when it comes to declaring martial law, when it comes to declaring a stay on elections, things of that nature, things that affect the government that much, there's no way that Congress and the Supreme Court would allow that to go through. I don't care if he's the president or not. Those kind of things take down a country. There is no way in hell they're going to let that happen. Yeah, well, I thought the military tribunal would be trustworthy, but PNP, he said that they're just as bad. And I know PNP knows his shit. He researches everything thoroughly, so I know he ain't bullshitting. Hello, Mystery. And when it comes to an entity like the internet, like I said, that's its own monster now. Yeah, Skyhawk, I did that too. It didn't really seem to do much. I know earlier I went live. I know the notifications didn't go out to everybody because I only had like 33 people in the stream. And my stream normally pulls 75 to 100 people. So even now, I've got 19 people in here. Oh, you're a Trump fan, Russell? I know a lot of things. I've been digging and doing a lot of research, and I know a lot of things that were said about him aren't true. It doesn't make me like him, but I know a lot of things haven't been proven, like the whole racist thing, and I know that hasn't been proven. Now, me, it bothered me at the thought of him being racist because, of course, I married a black woman and my children are mixed. But, you know, I have done homework and I've realized that he really has never said or done anything racist. But I don't see me personally, I don't like a businessman like that being the president. Now, first off, the man, look at him. I mean, he's filed bankruptcy, what, 3 times? I mean, I'm not a fan of the whole businessman as a president thing. If anything, I'd like to see a blue collar, everyday, average American in the White House. Somebody who knows the struggles of the average American, not the one percenters. That's what I would like to see in office. I mean, obviously a political background doesn't matter because they took Trump in. Yeah, I know, PNP. There wasn't much of a choice. We had D's nuts, but, he didn't put up much of a campaign. What do you mean, oh, brother? I mean, it's true, Russell. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I personally don't like the whole businessman. Yeah, I know. It takes money, Don. It does. But point is, we've had every type of president except a woman. So, I mean, the woman aspect doesn't matter to me. I don't care if the president's a man or a woman. But if you're going to throw a non politician in there, I'd rather see an average Joe than a one percenter. This guy, he's cutting Medicare and Medicaid and he's cutting welfare and he's doing all that crap. This is a man who's never wanted for anything. Boo hoo, his grandparents or whatever only gave him $1 million to start with. Let me see the guy that's supporting a family of 5 on a $30,000 salary. Let me see him be president. Somebody that really knows what it's like to be an American. Mister, you can bring up any topic you want. I mean, politics just happen to be. It's not even really politics. It's just the president specifically. He's a one percenter, Russell. I'm sorry, but somebody who has not wanted anything in his entire life has no idea what it's like to be the average American. Because let's face it, he's in the 1%. Somebody like that should not be making changes to welfare and Medicaid and Medicare and all that. He didn't work for what he has, man. His grandparents or his parents or whatever gave him his money. He started out with $1 million. Come on, how many people get $1 million to start out? That's after being raised in a mansion and having everything he ever wanted until he became an adult. Then they gave him $1 million and he goes and he starts his businesses. and he files bankruptcy 3 times. But yet here he is. He files bankruptcy, but never lost a penny. Yeah, of course he paid that million back because he got more money. Most people would be able to start a business if they started out with $1 million. If I had $1 million right now, I know I could turn that into 10 million in 5 years or less. Fact is, he was handed $1 million. Go ahead, start your own business. Whatever you want to do, it's okay. Just like that. That's not working for what he has. That's not earning it. He wasn't, he didn't have to pay for college. He didn't have to pay for food. He didn't have to pay for clothes. He didn't have to pay for anything. Ever in his entire life. And he knew he had a cushion to fall back on. Even if his business had failed, there he goes. Russell, he was given $1 million and told to pay it back whenever he wanted, whenever he could. How many people do you know can just walk out and get $1 million? You're right, P&P, but there's also a lot of people that would put it to good use. That could start a business. Half of these the Twitter and Instagram and things like that, I had those ideas 20, 25 years ago, before they were even a twinkle in anyone's eyes. People like me had those ideas back then, but we didn't have the money to do it. If I had had $1 million back when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, I was a master software engineer by then, I would be filthy rich right now, because I could have started the Google, I could have started the Instagram, I could have started the Facebook. All those ideas, me and people that I hung out with had way before they existed. We just didn't have the money for the hardware, for the compilers, all that stuff. Of course I did. Trump was always in the freaking news 25 years ago. He was a slumlord. He was filing bankruptcy. He was always getting in trouble with his wives. Or wife, whatever, back then. I don't remember how long he was with, was it Ivana or whatever? But the fact is, I know many people that would be filthy rich right now if they were given $1 million to start their own business and told to pay it back whenever they could. Just like that, whenever they could, just pay it back. Yeah, see, there you go. Look at P&P. I mean, I literally, back before the web existed, before Windows existed, people that I hung out with on the IRC and stuff, we talked about making search engines. We talked about making social media type stuff. But we did not have the money for the hardware. We didn't have the money for the software, because when you make programs like that and generate revenue, you have to do it with legal software. You can't take pirated software and make a program for sale in it. That right there would negate any patent pending, any of that would all be thrown out. And back then, compilers cost thousands. So, but because I didn't have the money, I couldn't do it. So now here I am struggling, living literally day to day, all because I didn't have startup money way back then. Nowadays, anybody can write a program because all the programs are written for them. Oh, I was not a Clinton fan either. Don't get me wrong. I was not a Clinton fan. Last decent president I could remember was maybe Carter or Reagan. I mean, did not like either of the Bushes. Did not like Clinton. Didn't like, well, I mean, Obama did a couple of good things. Now, see, it wasn't EKA. The ones on Yahoo Chat weren't the real ones. The ones on the IRC were real. And I ran the C channel, the C++ channel, the Whereas channel. I ran all those on Darknet. I ran them all on FNet. You go back in the day and you look up Raider, that was me. You're right, CEO. He also took the basic language that was out there back then and he called it QBasic. I started messing around with writing software in like 1988 or 89. By 95, 96, I was an expert in C and C++ and all the basic languages, all that. Back then, when you needed a program, you didn't wait to buy it. You made it yourself. I worked on Linux kernels, all kinds of embedded systems, all that. I come from the old school days, and I actually met the guy that made C++, Bjarne Stroustrup. He was doing a lecture at the local college, and I got to meet him. Visual Basic was okay for what's called RAD, Rapid Application Development, for simple programs like calculators and crap. It was not good for anything that needed to be resource friendly. But if I had had $1 million back in 1997, 1998, 1999, I would be filthy rich right now. I'd be sitting pretty out in freaking California or somewhere in a mansion, perfect health, because I could afford all the doctors I needed. Yep, EKA, we did that all the time. Why, Russell? Just because we don't agree about Trump? You see, that's why I don't like to get into political discussions, because everybody has their own views. I mean, I have my opinions, you have yours. That's okay. I don't hate you because you like Trump. So don't hate me because I don't like Trump. Realistically, I don't like most politicians. Bill Gates, he bought the original DOS and the original basic language and the original assembler compiler from this guy that had created it in his garage. This guy created all that on his own time in his garage. Bill Gates happened across the guy. He bought it from the guy for some ridiculously low price, like 12 grand. And he immediately turned around, walked out the door, renamed it. Before he even filed a patent pending, he sold rights to it to IBM. He didn't sell it to IBM. He just sold them the rights to use it. And that's what was born. Because people were tired of the Mac and getting all the restrictions that came along with the Macintosh. And that's how Bill Gates and Microsoft got started. Bill Gates had a couple of partners, they all got together and they chipped in the money to buy the software from this guy. literally just renamed it and sold the right licenses to use the item. And obviously that International Business Machines was born. Well, they became huge. They blew up when they started selling the PCs. We had one of the first IBM XT 8088s, no hard drive, puke green monochrome monitor. It had a 300 baud modem in it. Russell, no, it was not that simple. You don't get it. If you were not in the software industry, you'd never understand. Okay, first off, it takes an insane amount of time to write software like that. You're talking, in some of these cases, you're talking millions of lines of code. Little old me by myself or with one or two people writing that level of software like Google or Yahoo or Instagram with all the AI software involved and whatnot, millions of lines of code. It would take a single person or two or three people years to write that. It wasn't just about getting my hands on hardware. It was also getting other developers involved. And it was not easy to get investors, especially when I'm self-taught. I started messing around with writing code when I was a kid. I didn't go to college because I couldn't afford it. It wasn't even really pirated anymore, CEO, because it was modified so much that it became DOS. Bill Gates didn't do any of it, man. Bill Gates doesn't even know how to write code. He literally ripped a guy off for the software and sold it. And then he immediately got so much money, he could hire people that knew what they were doing to continue it on. He also had college degrees. He had friends with college degrees. He had friends with connections that would invest. I did not have that option. I was just some kid in the inner city, in the hood, messing with computers, writing software and all that. And that's literally where I started. I started writing code, and I eventually started doing it professionally, and did it professionally for over 2 decades. And it just got ridiculous. Nowadays, you don't even have to have a brain to make most computer programs. Most of the shit is already written for you. All you do is drag and drop it into your damn object list. Trust me, man. I wish I could go back and figure out a way to get myself the money back then that it would have taken to have the resources to develop that software. I mean, you guys, a lot of people don't even realize what it takes with YouTube. When you upload a video to YouTube, it goes through an AI. You can't even imagine the size of that code that goes through and scans your video, looks for anything illegal, and looks for copyright issues and whatnot. It's insane what it takes to make that kind of software. I don't know what happened with this damn storm. It's still showing it on the radar. But I don't know, man. It's like the wind died or something because the storm stopped coming. Yeah, right, right. Sixth Estate. The next big thing will be a perpetual motion device. If you can figure out a perpetual motion device, you'd be insanely rich. Even if it only generated like 1 volt. Just the fact is, if you could figure that out, you could literally rule the world because you would literally put home energy companies out of business and all that. I've tried and I've fiddled with all kinds of designs and stuff trying to make one. Not as easy as it looks. You know, what's funny is you could actually get electricity out of thin air. Yeah, right, PMP? You could literally, if you took like 100-foot copper wire and just stretched it out, directly out, and don't touch anything with it, and except, like a voltmeter, and touch a ground with the other line, you'll literally pull 2 or 3 volts out of thin air. That's just from the sheer level of signals that are passing through the air now. Cell phone signals, Wi-Fi signals. It all turns to RF. And you can actually turn that to DC power. Of course, to be any kind of use, you would need thousands of feet of wire to like power a house, but the point is it can be done. Man, I'm bummed. I wanted that storm. I love storms. Yeah, right, Ed? Couple million volts from the sky. That'd be great. But that power is way too unstable though. Yeah, I loved reading Tesla stuff. The idea of wireless energy, which he was able to do to a certain degree. I'm not sure on that one, PMP. I don't know the science behind that yet. I haven't studied it. You're right, Ed. He was. So was what you call it? Oh my God, George Eastman, Eastman Kodak. It's headquartered where I live. He was way ahead of his time with photography technology, but he still managed to succeed. I mean, Kodak owns half the damn city. I would love to get. See, I did this goofing around with my friend Jim, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. We made a little windmill, just out of scrap wood I had laying around, and I had an alternator I had pulled out of my Bronco because I put a stronger one in, and what we did is we took the sprockets off of a couple bikes and created a gear reduction. And we hooked up the windmill to the alternator, and we put the alternator to a couple car batteries, and daisy chained the car batteries, so we had 120 volts, and we were actually able to run a car power inverter off of it, and we were running our air compressors and stuff off of that whenever we were working on trucks, and we did it just to see if we could, and it worked. But Sadly, you need to have a permit and all that to put up a windmill if you actually want to power your house that way. And it has to meet all kinds of regulations, so you can't build it yourself because it has to do with electricity. But it was a fun little project just to do, though, just to see if we could do it. We had car batteries laying around, had the alternator laying around, had some old bikes laying around. Figured, why not? Well, not according to the radar, Don. I mean, it's showing that it's all still out west, heading this way. It just stalled out. Hey, PNP. I know you've probably shown it before, but Frontline Media, he needs some help. He's got, he's running into issues with his case and all that, and he's literally like gonna lose everything. And he's got a video on his channel. I can't remember the name of it now. Damn it! What is the name of that video? I sent it to David. I was texting with David earlier. He's gonna mirror part of it to try to get Frontline Media some traffic. The video's monetized. Geez, what is the name of that video? It's like a month and a half old video, but it like tells the story of everything that happened to him. But I've been trying to get him some exposure so he can get some views on that video and hopefully some subscribers, because he's literally about to lose everything. He was slammed on his head. His ribs where they connect to his sternum are partially disconnected still. He's got blackout issues because they slammed him on his head, and they're trying to railroad him. I'm trying to, oh my God, what is the name of that video now? It's going to drive me nuts. Now I got to find it. Well, I don't have you're like the only person whose number I don't have, PMP. Like literally the only one. And I got Flynn, and I've got News Now Houston's, I've got Ben's. United 6 Estate. Okay. All right, PNP. But in the meantime, Frontline Media, he really needs some help. If he's got a video on his channel, it's a month-old video. It's called "The Calm Before the Storm, Lebanon, PA." It's got 1,500 views. But it's like one of only a couple fully monetized videos he has. He's literally about to lose his house and everything. He's been living off of credit cards. And they're trying to railroad him in court so that he can't sue for the medical damage they've caused to him. He took a blow to the head and a blow to the sternum, really bad. He's been in and out of the hospital, in and out of doctor's offices. It's all on his channel. But the video, "The Calm Before the Storm, Lebanon, PA," he asked me if I could get anybody to mirror part of that video and then send people to his channel with a link to that video, if anybody could help. David said he would. He's busy, of course, so it'll take him a little while before he gets to it. But he's going to mirror part of it. But I don't know if you'd be willing to, but it would really help him out if you could throw him a bone. I've been trying to get people to help me out with my channel, too, trying to get it to grow. I get asked every day why my channel is so small, and I have no answer for it. But the actual incident video, YouTube won't monetize it. They reviewed it and told him no. Where he gets slammed on his head by a cop at the courthouse. Like, literally. You could see in the surveillance, they pick him up and drop him right on his head. And YouTube won't let him monetize that video. Yeah, it's on his channel. I can't send you the link because I don't have your number, but it's called The Calm Before the Storm, Lebanon, PA. So any help you could do, I knew you had mirrored something of his in the past. I think you did it as like a new auditor type thing that you do. But this is more of a call to action, activist needs help kind of deal. Kind of like when you helped 5150 when her house burned down, that kind of deal. He's been living off of credit cards, and he's got a house that he rents out to people. Well, the tenant moving on. He's screwing him over. So he's not going to have even that income. So he's literally going to have nothing. He gets blackouts and all that, so he can't work. Yeah, he's got the other video, a man's head thrown to cement floor. That's a bad one. That actually shows the incident. But YouTube demonetized that one. All right, guys. Well, I've been up for an hour. Looks like the storm's not going to hit anytime soon. It's stalled out. I mean, I'm literally looking at the radar right now on my computer, and it's showing it. I'm on weather.com. Yeah, I thought I remembered that, PNP. Yeah, I knew you had done something to help him, but I mean, if you wouldn't mind just doing something with that Calm Before the Storm video, just to kind of try to get him a little more traffic to a monetized video. Any help would do, anything. Even if he only picks up a few subscribers from it, anything would help. I'm trying to get people to advertise my channel too, but that takes time. So, but I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. I mean, I'm hoping the storm hits eventually, but I think I'm going to try to catch some sleep if I can. So, but I'll let him know, PNP, and yeah, just if you could tell David or Ben or whatever, toss me your number or give you my number, either or. All right, night, Ed. But, Ben and they know they can give you my number. So either way works. So I'll talk with everybody later. So you all have a good night. Yeah, thanks for hanging out.